think maybe those guys are going out there just in case, or maybe they're going out there because they've already made their decision. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right. We'll cover that certainly once we get to the off season, but that group of five look like maybe another straggler or two coming out of the locker room just to kind of survey the scene here. But we're kind of feeling for them because that's the core of the team right now, and they've even if the wins and losses haven't been there for people, they've put their heart and sweat into this. You know, this game, you had the lead at halftime and the lead going into the fourth, competitive right to the end. Let's go through the scramble at the end there, Coach. And I know that's not the way you wanted the home season to end. You've got a fourth down spike after a third down sack. That's just the wrong way to go about it in a crunch time. But how did it come to be?
Well, I think you guys saw it. I mean, obviously you want to throw that ball. The third down call, you have to throw it away, and then you play the fourth down snap. And if you're going to go on fourth down, you're going to have to throw the ball. Nobody wants to spike it on fourth down. I don't look at these plays. There's people making mistakes, but there's one mistake didn't win or lose a game. I mean, there was other mistakes made during that game, and people need to realize that. And there was balls where people dropped the balls. There were plays where DBs could have made plays in the end zone. So everyone wants to talk about the last play, but last time I checked, there was 70 plays on offense and 70 plays on defense. There was 140 snaps in that game, and all of them were important.
The fact that you had 70 snaps on offense is a big step in the right direction. Last game was just more than 40, and that was because you got some third down conversions right from the start of the game. You had, I think, 12 first downs at last check. Did you feel like you had the opportunity to move the football today, and was that a little more representative of what you were hoping to be this year?
Well, you can say all that, but then you turn around and you look at the run game, and
right.
There's absolutely nothing. You have to be able to be balanced. You can win games being one-dimensional, but it's hard to win games being one-dimensional when you don't run the football.
The running game with Sean Tucker in particular, I mean, obviously because he's the guy getting the bulk of the carries, just ineffective. It's been really more the story of the year. What are you sensing here when you guys and the coaches are together about where you are and what the reasons are for it, and what can you do? Still got one game left this season to continue to work at it.
Well, I think we were better in the throw game. We have to get better in the run game. I think those guys played on a heavy run front the entire game. They did not want our tailbacks to have any success. So they were forcing us to beat them with the throw. And we're going to be consistent and we're going to be patient. But then there just comes a point where if you're not getting enough dividends off of what you're doing, you just have to go back to just doing one thing.
A career-type game for Taj Harris today, Coach. What clicked in terms of getting him the football and a couple of shot plays, really, with the primary offensive weapon today?
Well, we're just calling plays, and those are the defense were giving us the things that were open. But I think the big thing is, Taj can play a lot better, too. He left some meat out there on the bone, and he knows how I feel about it. I want those guys to be able to catch everything, even though that may not be possible. It's definitely possible. It may not be probable, but that's the way I look at it. And, we can do better. And it's my biggest disappointment sitting right here besides the loss is that, seniors who may play their last game, in the Dome, played it with no fans, and they didn't get a chance for victory, which is really disappointing.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. That group of 5-6 guys is kind of, I guess it's 5, has walked a full lap all the way around the field. Looks like they'll be heading back your way toward the locker room here any second. Coach, we talked on your radio show a while back. This is the last one for me. It's kind of a fluky thing, but you're into the stats and trends and that type of deal. And I remember you saying we were talking about a pick six, and if you get one of those, how much it increases your chance of winning. And a kickoff return, while emotional and exciting and fun to watch, statistically does not have that kind of impact on the game. And that sort of happened here, right? That you give up the long drive to NC State, you get it right back with that nice return by Trevor Pena. No lift, or not as much of a lift, and maybe that playing in a sterile arena kind of played into that a little. What was it like?
We've talked about it before, Matt. You know what my feelings are on it. Here's the thing. Are you going to take the 7? Heck yeah, you're going to take it. Of course. But, if you just look at the numbers, you'd rather have a pick six. You'd rather have a block punt for a touchdown. Those statistics are really much stronger than winning. Now, while I'm saying that, everybody thinks, coach is full of blah, blah. If you run 2 kickoff returns back, it totally flips the other way in your favor. So it all depends on how the analytics people want to look at it.
All right. Well, the final analysis obviously is the scoreboard. It's a 7-point loss and 7 straight losses.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much for talking with Matt. Now we'll go to Stephen Bailey from 247 Sports.
Hey, Dino, I think as the last couple of plays kind of resonates on us, I have a hard time not feeling for Rex a little bit with everything he has been through and he's worked through to get to that point. Is there anything you can say to him after a game like that, or anything you can share about, I don't know, your perspective of, what it was like to see him go through that?
Rex is an amazing person. And you're talking about a young man at his age that's already defeated cancer. And, this is a game. It's always going to be a game, and it's a game that we love. But Rex is going to go off and do great things. Rex could do great things here next year. Rex is one of those individuals that you're going to have to remember how you spell his name, because you're going to see his name come up in other endeavors in life. So it's growing. It's something you need to grow from. He had a heck of a game, and it was unfortunate. Just that one play was bad.
Thanks, Coach. Next, we'll go to Matt Hausworth from CNY Central.
I want to ask you about the pregame scene. There were some fans out there greeted you guys coming off the bus. So what was that like, just to see some fans out there for the first time and what feels like forever?
That was the wives all getting together with their kids and some of their friends, and they knew that the seniors were not going to have any fans inside the dome, and they organized it and got it all together and got out there with the signs and all that kind of stuff, so the seniors could have something that they can say that they saw some people cheering for them one time. Think about this. We've been at the dome. How many times have we been at home? And this is the first time that they've actually seen some people actually cheering for them. And this could be their last game.
Thank you, Coach. Next, we'll go to Eric Columbia from Spectrum News.
Hey, Dino, really not trying to harp on the final sequence there, because I know, rightly or wrongly, that's what people are going to focus on. But what is the communication like in that final sequence between you and Rex? Are you guys able to get what you want accomplished in that, or is it way too hectic of a situation where you fully have to rely on the player there?
Everything needs to calm down. Everything's moving faster. Everybody's adrenaline is excited. But, this is something that we practice. And you practice because you want it to be perfect in the game. And even though you strive for perfection, we all do in a lot of things, we don't always get there. And that's the amazing thing about grace and humility, is that those two words are important if you're going to be able to survive. So, it was just unfortunate. It was unfortunate, and I thought he played a good game.
Thanks, Coach. Next, we'll go to Danny Emmerman from the Daily Orange.
Hey, Dino, you said that you practice, situational football, that you've preached it all year. So how much responsibility do you take for how the end of the game played out?
I take responsibility for everything that goes on in the game.
Thank you, Coach. Next, we'll go to Jacob Payne from Sports Illustrated Syracuse.
Hey, Coach. Todd Harris had a monster game, 146 yards receiving. You did mention that he left some meat on the bone there. Were you not satisfied with his overall performance today?
I have very, very high expectations for the wide receivers. I'm sorry. I apologize to their parents all the time, but wide receivers are like my babies. They work very hard, and we really try to reward them, and it was disappointing. And we had a disappointing stretch where, it was hard to get them the ball based off of who was playing quarterbacks, in this season. But when Rex was out and he was throwing the ball and he was giving those guys some opportunities, and we need to do everything in our power to help him by not leaving anything on the ground. And there was some really good catches being made out there, and there's some really good throws being made out there. I just wish we could have been a little bit more efficient.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach. Next, we'll go to Mario Sacco from Channel 9.
Hi, Coach. Time management all year has kind of been in question a little bit, getting play calls in. What do you contribute that to?
I'm not sure because I'm not sure everybody has did as much on time management and clock management as some of the coaches have, but we can all get together and have a powwow about it. If you guys,
I guess I'll go on the, it seemed like play clocks were winding down a lot today. Along those lines, did you feel that there was time management issues in today's game, or did you feel, we were just trying to, see what was out there, the defense?
There was a couple of times where we had some young people in there that weren't lined up on the correct side, didn't get a signal correct. And I have to decide whether I'm going to let that play go or whether one of those plays is, I'm not sure I want to give up this down and distance for a penalty right here. Let's stop this thing. Let's line them up right and try again. And, I had to call some early in the first half that way. But I felt that we were going to have a chance to win it at the end of the game, and some of those plays and before that were important enough to do it. So, and we had a chance at the end of the game, so it worked out.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Coach. We have two more. This one from Christian de Guzman from Noon's Magician.
Hey, Coach. NC State was 8 for 13 on third downs. Third down conversions has been a problem for your defense pretty much the entire year. What do you kind of attribute that to?
You really look at what's going on, and you've been seeing it game after game. And first of all, I think our defense is going to be really good. I really do. I am cautiously excited about what this is going to turn into, especially with the youth that's on that side of the ball. When you look at the third down situations, you see pressure. You see defensive linemen barely coming off. You see guys almost getting to the quarterback with the defensive line rush, and you're seeing young freshman DBs almost make the play. Okay, almost make the play, and then they're getting a first down. Almost make a play, and they're getting, a touchdown in the end zone, so to speak. I think there's one of them on Garrett, and I've got to look at the tape, and I'm not complaining because this is all part of it. But it looked like the receiver pushed him right at the opportune time where Garrett was about to pick it in the end zone. And, the referee no-called it, which he's allowed to do. I mean, I'm not going to go crazy over that. But it's that knowledge. You give that knowledge to Garrett. You give that knowledge to Iffy. You give that knowledge to Smurf. You give that knowledge to those to Jihad and Hannah, and you give them that knowledge, and then you bring them back, and then they know next year that they may get a little push there, but they're going to be ready for it type thing. And then those D linemen get off, and instead of being one step almost there, they're there. And, we're a pressure defense. We're trying to tune it up. And if we had some other cats back there, the coverage would be a lot tighter and the success would be a lot more. But those guys aren't back there. They're gone. And so now when these guys grow up to where those guys are at, I think we're going to have something we can really be proud of. It's a fantastic question. That's absolutely the truth.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Dino. For our last question today, we'll go to Dan Tortora.
In this game, despite the loss, so many different players. I mean, nobody gave up. Just seeing the fight in your team and what everyone did on offense, defense, and special teams, just what you can say about their resiliency and the way that they played today, regardless of the record this season.
I appreciate the question. It was, I had to get out of the locker room fast after we did our business and talked a little bit post about the game and the things that are happening out there. And, as a coach, I know as fans, you may or may not, and that's okay. That's not your guys' fault. But there's a maturity level that has to go on physically and mentally. I mean, there's still penalties in the kicking game that shouldn't be there. We're down in distance. We're hitting a punt, and then we're getting another holding call. And heck, it looked like a 31-yard penalty. They said it was 10 or 15. It looked like it was 31 yards. But it's those little things that have such a huge effect on winning football games. So, I look at those guys and I just tell them, keep fighting, because all this apologizing and all this stuttering and all this hesitating in my voice is going to change. And then all of a sudden they're going to be doing it right. And they're going to be doing it right for a long period of time. And you're going to have something that you can consistently look at and not something that's occasional. And that's all coming to a theater near you.
Thanks, Dino. Appreciate it.
Coach Babers, thank you